This episode was sponsored by Privacy.com. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Carl here, back with an episode that has taken me way too long to film. It's technically my revisited review of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. It's crazy to think, revisited. It's been out now for a couple weeks. I was in NYC for the launch, but I've just been so busy with, personal stuff, other vids, and I've luckily been using this guy for the past 3 weeks. That's almost a month. Here's my thoughts on Samsung's latest flagship. And let's start with the big chicken in the room, which is the Note 10/Note 10 Plus. For the first time, we have a smaller and not plus size or flagship level of the Note series. And the Note 10 is $950, whereas the Note 10 Plus is $1,099. So a bit more money, but on the Note 10, you get a slightly smaller display, 6.3 inches lower resolution, obviously not as much RAM, but if you're paying close to $1,000, if you're ready ponying up that money, spend the extra $100, get the Note 10 Plus. That's the bottom line. The Note 10, in my opinion, is a very weird entry from Samsung. If they wanted, they should have released that at, say, $750 to make a bigger difference. The Note 10 Plus, though, obviously the flagship at 6.8 inches, of course, Quad HD display. Let's talk about the design first. I think Samsung always hits it out of the park with their displays. They continue that with the Note 10 Plus. And it's literally edge to edge. It doesn't wrap around the corners too much, which I actually prefer. You can see that they've got the small hole punch display in the front for that front-facing camera. They decided not to go the same route as, say, the S10 Plus with the 2 cutouts. I dig it. On the bottom, you've got minimal bezels. This is exactly how you do a display. You can't get any better than this. And as I've been using the Note 10, it really reminds me of those old school Sony Xperia phones. Very squarish in design. It's refreshing, it's nice, we've got some sharp corners, I dig it. The back, which I guess will introduce me to the colorway which everyone is talking about, Aura Glow. I know there's another bunch of colorways that you can grab, but this is the one that's been circulating around everywhere. The thing that it reminds me the most of is the back of a CD, which I wish I had. No one uses CDs anymore, but that is exactly what this guy looks like. It's a huge fingerprint magnet, as most Samsung devices are. If you guys don't dig it, bunch of skins here linked. D-Brand has got you hooked up, and at least they still give you a glimpse of that Aura Glow if you dig that. Or just get a black phone. When I first got the phone, it took me a bit longer to get used to the volume rocker and on and off button being on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is completely blank, but now after a couple weeks, it's kind of second nature. USB-C speaker grill on the bottom, and for the first time, we have axed the headphone jack, but I mean, we kind of expected that. Who is still talking about headphone jacks? I guess techies need to talk about something. The S Pen though, that also lives at the bottom of the device, and that's what makes this guy the Note. Just like every Note device before this, you use it a ton for the first week, and after that, it kind of just lives back in the holder. Some of the examples that they were using at the keynote, I didn't really think were too realistic. You have all these new gestures. Say you've got the phone on a tripod, you want to take a selfie because you're traveling solo, you don't want to ask anyone else, you can use the S Pen to snap the selfie, or if you really want to be ridiculous, zooming in, creating a circle. I don't know how realistic that is. I mean, it's still the best thing for taking notes while you're in class, creating memos, taking screenshots, but I wouldn't go further than that. To performance, obviously Samsung's flagship inside, it's packed with the latest silicone, Adreno 640, 12 gigs of RAM, which I don't even have in some of my laptops. But yeah, let's just keep packing these into mobile devices. Obviously, everything that you throw at the Note 10 just crushes. Buttery smooth. It's running TouchWiz, not my favorite skin over top of Android, but Samsung I think gets it. It's getting better every year, it's getting simpler, but the main thing, you just don't receive updates as fast. As of the current time I'm recording this video, Android 10 is already available. It's out in, say, Pixel devices. We probably won't see that coming to the Note series or Samsung phones for weeks. Around the back, you also notice that there is no more fingerprint sensor. That is now built under the display. And coming from the OnePlus 7 Pro, that's been my last, or I guess daily driver of an Android device, the fingerprint sensor just isn't as quick. There's almost that hint of lag. It's not really lag, the phone is still working, but it just takes a couple milliseconds longer. The biggest thing though that I would say coming from the OnePlus 7 Pro is the display. And even though this guy is gorgeous, don't get me wrong, the 90 Hertz refresh rate is just something that you get used to. I think Samsung's got to up it. That would have been the perfect new feature, say coming from the S10, S10 Plus. They usually adopt a lot of the same hardware, like the camera, which we'll get to, is exactly the same. That would have been a nice new feature. We'll probably see that in the S11. You'll have to wait till next year. Going to that camera, I'm not gonna talk about it too much because it's the same as the S10, like I mentioned. It's good, it's great, it's not the best. It kind of still falls underneath Google, maybe around the same level as an iPhone. I love the fact though you can shoot video in all 3 of the focal ranges. That's not the same for other flagships. Dynamic range definitely getting better, just maybe some of the selfies look a bit soft and undersaturated still. The next thing, battery life, that's what the Note is good for. You've got a massive 4,300 milliamp beast, easily lasts you the entire day, a day and a half, but more importantly, when this phone becomes 6 months, a year, 2 years old, it will still last you that full day. I know batteries kind of degrade as you use them. I wouldn't be worried or as worried with this guy. And yeah, that kind of wraps up my review of the Galaxy Note 10. Get the Plus model, spend the extra $100, get Aura Glow, be a CD player. This is the Samsung device that I would recommend for the rest of the year. If you guys want to see this as a potential giveaway, let me know as well, and I will try to make it happen. We'll catch the rest of you in one of my next episodes or vlogs. Peace. So privacy.com is a cool and more importantly free way to encrypt your debit or credit card info. Especially when you're buying things online, you're not too sure about the site's legitimacy, whether you're buying cool tech or maybe even some streetwear. It ensures that your identity and bank info will always be protected. It'll generate a random or virtual card number, and you can use that instead of your own info. You never need to worry about being double billed. Your info, if it's ever hacked, isn't actually lost. It's just that fake random generated number. And you'll actually get a notification so you can cancel your own card as quickly as you can. And when you head to privacy.com/KarlConrad, you'll save $5 on your first purchase. So go check it out. You can even get a Chrome extension if you're interested. So it's easy, integrated, simple, all in one place, and you don't really need to worry about anything because it's protected. Happy online shopping.